Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Do you remember some time ago, not that long ago, I built the Pink Spitfire for indoor flying, and it didn't turn very well because I rather daringly had all flying wings. It actually flew of sorts. It flew, but I just couldn't get it to turn. It was doing all sorts of funny things. So it's getting a little bit of dust on it. So it's time to do something. There we go. Come on, my beauty. Out you come. Good. There we are. All so bad. Let's make life a bit easier. And look at that. How easy was that? So all I need to do is to decide which part's going to be the aileron. I'm going to cover the bottom. I'll give it a huge amount of strength as well. I'll give it doculum as well. We'll add a huge amount of strength. I'm going to make a little bit of a start on this, guys, and I'll show you what I've done in a minute. Right, guys, a little update. I've glued in the false trailing edge, and I've got the leading edge for the aileron cut. That'll go in there. Little tip is to put a couple of pins in, and that'll set your distance, leave a nice gap. Right, now because I'm going to be cutting, making it flat bottomed, I may as well cut end ribs which are already flat bottomed, and I shall assemble it accordingly. So just for the minute I've glued this one on, so that one's drying, but I think that looks proportionally about right. So I'll crack on, do a little bit more, and come back to you in a minute. I'll let that dry, and then I'm going to add a bit of balsa underneath the two centre ribs, and that'll be flat bottom then. And when I add another main spar in here, I'll probably make that flat bottomed as well. Okay, decent progress, guys. I've got the ailerons made and hinged with 1mm fishing line and servo mount, little hole there for the wire. I've got a lower main spar in to take the bendiness out of the wing, as well as the top carbon rod. There's all the detritus, and that one's the same. So I'm going to have to fit the wings to the fuselage before I cover it. I'm going to put doculum on first and then pink tissue, but yeah, it's coming on. Okay guys, I've been busy. I've fitted these cap strips, the 16th, on the bottom of the from leading to trailing edge and over the main spar, which I've added, and you can see they're hollow underneath. So everything that is balsa colour is new, everything that isn't is black. I've infilled these end ribs as well to make them flat. Couldn't see a lot of point in putting the strips on the outside underneath. Couldn't see any point in adding cap strips to these bits. They've only got to hold the tissue. So did I show you the hinge, by the way? 3 pieces of 1mm fishing line pushed in. So that's what it's going to look like, but here's one I prepared earlier. So what I decided to do was to stick a 1/32 sheet over the leading edge. I've got the 1/16 strips on the bottom, same as that wing. We've also added some 1/32 strips, cap strips, over the top of the ribs there. So again, everything you see is black is original. So I'll show you how this fits. As you can see, I've extended it over the front, so this will now fit in like this, and that will slide over the top. I'll glue all this in one go and clip in like that. And then when this is glued together, I'll put a cap strip over that, and the main spar is going to glue onto the plywood undercarriage brace. Right, so what I'm going to do now is to do the same on the port wing. Put on the cap strips, put on the 1/32 sheet, and that will caught it up then. But isn't it amazing how a bit of sheet on the leading edge makes it look that much more finished and solid. I've finished the 1/32 sheet leading edge. I put cap strips on the top, and they're 1/32 also, and they're just blended down into the trailing edge. The aileron is fitted, the servos are fitted, and they're just hot glued in place. I'm just going to cover it up to there and cut out a slot there for simplicity. The ailerons are ready to cover it as well. I've given it all as sand. So there it is. They just slide on there. I'll just put them on one last time before I paint them. And then I'm going to glue them on. And once they're on, I'm going to 1/32 sheet right over the top of there, up to there. I'll probably put a nice little curve in there as well. Always looks nice. And yeah, there it is. So obviously it feels a little bit heavier now because the servos are in the wings. I'm quite pleased with that. I think they look okay. I think they're reasonably strong. So it's been fun doing this, and a few little fiddly bits around these servo horn areas and push rods, etc. There's the push rods. They're just little short push rods will go against the horn. Nothing special. And then I'm just going to cover the whole lot. Okay, I think I've painted around the edges, guys, so now it's time to glue the wings on. I'll start with this one. Shall I put it on that, or shall I put it on that? Towards its long. I've mixed up some 15-minute epoxy here. Okay, now goes in there, slides on, that goes on there. A lot of that sliding off actually, so I'm going to put some on there dry, I think. And push it forward instead of scraping it off then. Good idea. Goes in that little hole there, and then in there, and simple as that. Nice and easy. Alrighty, so I've started to sheet this part here. I've cut a little curve into it like I said I would, and I'm just cutting out the piece for the back. I've just traced it, traced a pencil line on, so let's cut it out. The other thing is I thought I'd go right over the fillet at the back there. Okay, I'll put that in there, and there like that. Squeeze it up. It's holding pretty well actually. That's holding, I think. Just pop a peg on there, and that will just hold that in place while it sets nicely. That was a bit. Pays to have different pegs because they all got different spring tensions on them. There we are. That's nice. How does that? You can't beat a nice Spitfire. That might be a struggle to get that out. So the rest is okay, but if the wings come out as good as this, which is perfect, that's fine. Yeah, come back to you soon, guys. Thought we'd have a little catch up, guys. As you can see, I'm just finishing off the perimeter of the starboard wing, is it? Yeah. There he is. Yeah, I think, well, that's not too bad, is it? Let's pump it up to 130. You'll see on this wing, I've only done the open structure. I've done the sheeted areas. Doesn't go on brilliantly on sheeted areas. And it doesn't tissue so well either, so I'm not going to do that. I'll tissue straight onto the structure. The join here is so fine you'll never see it. It's so thin. Gluing it on as if the doculum wasn't there at all, using glue stick. Put that on dry and we'll see how we get on. I know the pink is going to be a little bit different to the pink of the fuselage and the pink of the tail, but it's pink. And this is actually tissue from J. Perkins in the UK, sold to me by DB Sport and Scale. Check out their website. That's David Boddington's name on that one, DB, and you'll see that they've got a pretty good selection of tissues. Moving wings, really enjoyed doing that, but this has been fun also. So what I want to do here is, if you just cut at 45 degrees, you get a little V shape, you know, on both sides. But if you cut it flush one side, and then when you do the top surface, cut it flush the other side, it should pretty much go down. You can, if you wanted, put a little bit of tissue around the inside corner before you cut it, which I haven't done. Or if you do end up with a little bit of balsa showing, you can go around with a pink felt tip pen and just touch it in, or pink paint, which works also as well. So I'm going to stick that tissue down onto that face, and when I do the top, I'll stick it down onto that face. I'll just let the glue stick go off a bit, then I'm going to spritz it with water and dry it gently with the heat gun, and that will tighten it out nice and stiff, ready to put on my finish. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can mix some up. Just stir it up, see it, and get it close to it, and then just paint the tissue, and the water should dry it out, and then if necessary give it a light coat of varnish, matte varnish spray, something like that. Just thought I'd show you guys how quickly you can stretch this tissue out. Look at this. If you just left that to dry normally, it would take at least 10 minutes, if not longer. But put a bit of heat on it. And as you can see, it's done really quick. So that's ready for my next sort of finish, be it dope or clear varnish, we'll see. Still, there we are. It's looking very smart. Well, things aren't really going to plan, guys. I had a go at using the lacquer over the tissue, and it didn't really tighten out. In fact, it sort of went slack and left it slack. So I've given it a coat of dope, but the damage has been done. As you can see, possibly there's some wrinkles in the wing. The dope won't take those out because it's all set lacquer. So now, at least now the paint is going on. I should have gone straight for dope and then the paint. Didn't really imagine I was going to paint it pink. That was the idea of the tissue, but it's just not pink enough really, so hence the paint. It's going on pretty well, but it is quite thin. It's like water really, so it's going to need a second coat. Okay, there we are. 2 coats and it's drying, and the worst wing is there. You can see some wrinkles in the top. I'm going to have to live with that, I'm afraid. It won't look too bad when it's done. So Pink Spitfire coming on. Wings all done. Just got the hinge those little ailerons. See the difference in colour. These are dry, and that's obviously drying, but it goes quite a bit darker. It'll match the fuselage quite well. So there we go. Good result really, eventually. I gave it coated dope, which I should have done straight away. Then a couple of coats of emulsion, followed by a light spray of matte lacquer. I've fitted the ailerons. I haven't put the air scoops back on. These actually look a bit crude. Perhaps I should paint them in, but still. So the ailerons are working, and I've got more up than down, and I've got a little bit of coupled rudder from when it was an all-moving wing. So we'll see how I get on with that. I won't uncouple it for the minute. Elevator working, and yeah, so there we are. Very simple connection. So she's all ready for her maiden flight with the ailerons fitted. Just in case you haven't seen inside, elevator and rudder. There we are then, guys. Hope you enjoyed that video. You can see what's involved in adding ailerons. Not just a case of adding ailerons in this case, because I had to beef the wing up quite a lot. But it's come out okay. So looking forward to flying the Pink Spitfire. Give the video a thumbs up if you don't mind, if you're still watching. And subscribe if you're not, if you've enjoyed the video and learnt something. And I'll see you out at the field and we'll give her a chuck. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.